mute this.
Go check, make sure, see me my sign up.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir?
Good, you all
I'm
right?
good. I'm good. You doing all right today?
Good.
Good, good.
There you go. Okay. Sorry. You good? Okay. No, no problem, sir.
I heard it, so I just had to come up.
Okay. Bart, Bart, Bart. Bart.
You missed it a little bit, aren't you?
Hi, guys.
You missed it just a little bit.
Yeah. You did some games the other day. I heard
The
kids coming out.
You asked my ability to accomplish this. Hey, Dan, how are you, sir? Good, sir. How are you? You all. I was just say that. I can see that now. I mean, I just can't read. Okay. Okay. And I know JR spoke with him today as well. So, yeah. Why isn't that Friday?
Yes, sir.
I'll call to order our regular scheduled city council meeting on Monday, December 19th, 2022, at approximately 7 p.m. First order of business tonight is our, welcome, let's move. Welcome. Well, I just said that. Appreciate y'all being here, especially on a cold night. Welcome to December. Appreciate it. So if you have any trouble with cold weather, wait a few days, it's gonna be colder. Then we'll come with the springtime. Yeah. That's the good thing about living here. So we appreciate you all being here, especially those tuning in remote. Thank you for joining us also. Tonight, our invocation and pledge of allegiance will be Ms. Kuzner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let us pray, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this Christmas season. May you bless those who are suffering and bring peace and joy. Lord, I ask for your wisdom and guidance as we make decisions for our city tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Always, the first thing I always do is forget the roll call. As the records reflected, all members of council are present, along with our city attorney, Mr. Daniel Hughes. Our city administrator, Mrs. Seth Duncan, joining us for second time.
Yes, sir.
Second time. Oh, the city clerk, who keeps us all straight, especially Candace, and you know, various department is, the city and the others, thank you for being here. And of course, our citizens, we appreciate you guys being here. Right. Next thing is proclamation presentations. We have one coming from the Recreation. Mr. Roller.
Thank you, Mayor. I can bring our commentator up to announce a special recognition of the fourth.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor, Council. I was gonna write a few things down tonight. I'm just gonna speak on the heart because I do better with that. But I want to recognize Will Stewart. He got an award. I'm gonna let Mr. Schuman County come up with a short video for y'all to watch. But Will's been with us about 10 years. Will started in July of 2012. That's the same year my dad passed. And two people came in my life. I knew Willie as a kid because he came to the program. And then he was working with the county and with the school system. And so Willie applied for the job and he had been working for us part-time. So, but two people came in my life that helped me move on with my dad's passing. And I think God does that too. I think God puts you up. Somebody tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, it's gonna be okay. And so Willie, it would be Willie and my 10-year-old son, Wyatt. So they helped me get through that. But Willie, more importantly, does an awesome job for us. He's the backbone of that rec department. He talks me off the ledge when I'm gonna do opening day and have all the sports out there, and he's looking at me cross-eyed, no, we can't do that. So I do appreciate that, Willie, and we're lucky to have him. He's an awesome team player. And I think one day he'll be a great recreation director. And so I just want to recognize him and tell him thank you for what he does. He's from Mauldin, grew up here on Butler Road. I meant to ride by that road, write down the address. It's 210 Butler Road. It's right there on the corner. I used to see Willie out there when I was going back and forth to Park when I was outside doing maintenance and stuff like that. So, but anyway, his wife His two daughters are here, his dad's here. I've known Mr. Stewart a long time. I used to call Willis football games, so I've known this young man a long time. We're lucky to have him, and he does an exceptional job for the city. I just want to tell him thank you from my heart and the city as well. So, Seth, if you could play that video.
Yes, sir.
for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And Mr. Schuman, if you could come up back there.
The SCRPA Young Professional of the Year Award must be in the Parks and Recreation profession for at least 3 years and no more than 15 years, and a member in good standing of SCRPA and professional certified. This award considers service, leadership, and character. Our Young Professional of the Year recipient has been described as hardworking, going above and beyond, and dedicated to the profession. He was born in South Carolina and came back to work in his hometown. He graduated from Carson University. He's married and has 2 beautiful children. He's a family man who loves sports and his family. Willie Stewart has been with the city of Mauldin for 10 years, currently serving as assistant director. He's also served as athletic director, and prior to coming to Mauldin, he worked for Greenville County Parks and Recreation. Willie is currently certified through the National Parks and Recreation Association as a Parks and Recreation Professional, CPRP. Willie is a homegrown product and understands Mauldin and the upstate. He cares and programs for all the youth in his community. He recruits, trains, and oversees all the coaches for Mauldin's recreation program, even coaching when needed. Willie also coaches high school football for Mauldin High School. Willie has been very involved with SCRPA. He's a graduate of the SC Elite program in 2020. Willie served on the SC Athletic Programs branch for 8 years and was elected chair in 2019-2020. Willie is a certified youth sports administrator from the National Alliance for Youth Sports and has served on various SCRPA committees in his short tenure. According to his director, Willie has been a great asset to the city of Mauldin. His hard work and dedication to the city is outstanding. There's no job that Willie cannot or will not do. The sky is the limit for this young man. Please help us honor SCRPA's 2022 Young Professional of the Year, Willie Stewart.
Mayor, Council, it's an honor to be here. My name is Don Schuman. I do work for Grant County Parks and Recreation. But today I'm representing the South Carolina Recreation and Parks Association as the 69th past president. It's an honor and privilege to give this award to Willie Stewart. And this is a Young Professional of the Year award. Willie? You've already had it in your office.
Yeah, I got to put it up. Just like to thank once again SCRPA #1 at our Cumberland, the city of Mauldin, for the opportunity #1 to work with y'all and come to work and be here every day, but also the opportunity to grow in this field and learn new things. Just once again, just thank you for the opportunities. My family has been with me through all of it, so you know, ups and downs of everything, they've been there, and I just thank y'all for this award.
Hold it up, Andre, so that it's skinny.
Cheese, if I say cheese, there we go. Yeah, that's what.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas. Next item on the agenda is reading and approval of minutes of city council meeting of November 21st, 2022. What's the pleasure of council? Move for approval of minute. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. King, any corrections, suggestions, clarifications? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, that carries. Next item, approval of minutes for special call council meeting November 18th, 2022. Also.
Motion to approve as submitted.
Ms. King, is there a second? Second. Second in stereo. That's what I'll let you say. Any clarification, discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the minutes as submitted, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on our agenda is our first public comment period. Just for those that might be new to us, there are two public comment sections in our agenda. The first one is for agenda items. So if you have an item on the agenda tonight, use when you would speak. You're asked to come forward to the microphone, state your name and address, and you'll be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters and matters under litigation. Prior to council's consideration of any item on the agenda for tonight's meeting, person who signed up to understand that. Fairly lengthy agenda tonight, so we'll limit comments to 3 minutes. Proper, no sharing the seating, I don't think we got a problem with that. Right? Proper decorum must be observed by members of council, by speakers and by the audience. Mayor should keep control of the meeting and require the speakers and the audience to refrain from abusive and profane remarks, disruptive outbursts, applause, protests, or other conduct that disrupts or interferes with the orderly conduct of the business of the meeting. Personal attacks on council members, city staff, or members of the public are not allowed. It is inappropriate to use the public hearing or the public comment period for the purpose of making political speech and including threats of political action. Engaging in such conduct and failing to cease with such conduct on request of the mayor will be grounds for ending the speaker's time at the podium or for removal of disruptive person from the meeting. It is your time to address the council. It is not an interaction, so the council does not engage in debate or back and forth with you. It's just your time to speak to this council. Council, if they have any questions or clarifications, will be allowed to address the speaker. First person signed up tonight on their agenda item is Mr. Jeremy Stark. Come forward and state your name and address.
My name is Jeremy Sark, 731 North Main Street, Sark's Automotive. Good evening, councilmen and councilwomen. I'm Jeremy Sark, owner of Sark's Automotive, and the plaintiff of a lawsuit against the city challenging the zoning ordinance, which would force me to lose the U-Haul business to close at the end of this year. On the agenda of this evening is the city's proposal amendment to the ordinance. The amendment of the agenda for this evening would allow my business to continue at the current location, allow me to keep 2 U-Hauls in the front at all times, and allow me to continue accepting U-Haul drop-offs and offering U-Haul pickups after hours, weekends, and outside of the normal hour of business. Thank you for proposing the amendment. It will allow me to continue my business that provides for my family, my employees, service residents, generate tax revenue. I hope you approve it in its current form. Thank you for your time and working towards the resolution.
Sorry. Next is city center. It's not on the agenda, so you get to watch us do all the business and then you can speak. How about that? All right. Thank you. Next item is there anyone remotely?
No one's raised their hand, sir.
Okay. Nick, are you want to speak to?
Yeah, it was just about the city center. Not gonna take this minute. I didn't really know I was gonna be here tonight. I just want to talk to y'all before the end of the year. And it's just,
There is an item on dealing with city center, Maverick Yard and everything, so no objection by
Okay,
council
okay.
to allow that. So you want to come up and state your name and address?
my name is Nick Nechayev, 212 North Main Street here in Mauldin, owner of Distinctive Details. And like I said a minute ago, I really wasn't planning on being here tonight, so I thought at Babbitt I had some work to do, but you know, I think it's gonna be important just to, before we end the year, about the city center. And this has been going on, we all know, for probably a decade or so now. I feel that there should be a little bit more communication between the business owners that are involved here in the city center properties. We do have 6 business owners, 5 rural property owners. And we know that a few years ago, we got really close. And the plan that we saw is nothing like the plan we see now. Mayor, back in July, I talked to you because my father's been sick, so I've been out of the loop for over a year. And my sister and I are still taking care of my dad, so that's taking up a lot of our time after work. But what we'd like to do is maybe in 2023, if we can get the city planners to communicate better with the business owners about the city center. Because we just have a lot of questions where it's changed a good bit. What we saw during that luncheon a few years ago and what we're seeing now is totally different. So I asked the city council that if you guys can show us a plan, that's the only option that can satisfy and what's best to serve the public. That's what we need to see, this plan that's better than what we have now. You know, I've been there 35 years. I know another business owner's been 30, McPhail's been 40. So we've established these businesses a long time ago, and we didn't have any idea of the city center. You know, I've never been negative about it. I've had open dialogue with y'all about my properties. But you know, some of the others are more concerned, and I'm not that I'm not concerned, but we just really need to be more in the loop. We've asked in the past for a little bit more communication. We have not had it yet. And it's not the first time I've asked for communication, and I know we got a new city planner, right? So maybe they can come visit us and show us this new plan, because from what I understand, I don't see how townhomes are part of an attraction for a city center, but I could be wrong. This is not my forte. My forte is automobiles. And I have customers coming from every county in the upstate. Most of my customers are Greenwood County. I have plenty of customers coming from Spartanburg County, Anderson County, Oconee County, Seneca. There's 2 or 3 that come back because we have established a well-known, best in the business automotive detailing, which is, I know, not really part of what your city center wants. So we just ask for a little bit more transparency, a little bit more communication in 2023 is what we're hoping for. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is report from our city administrator, Seth Dunn.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. So tonight I have several items. I'll run through those. And so first off, city received notice last week that the Mauldin Police Department has been awarded a state school resource officer program award for $218,439. This is a non-matching award that will allow the department to add 2 additional school resource officers to area schools. In addition to fully covering the cost of 2 officers, the grant will provide funding for all related equipment and 2 new SRO officer vehicles. The new SROs will be deployed full-time to Mauldin Elementary School and Bethel Elementary School. We appreciate the hard work of Chief Miller and his staff in securing these resources for the benefit and safety of our community. Well done. Well done, sir. Also, holiday closings. It's the holiday season, so we've got a couple closings that are coming up and associated with the holidays. City offices and public facilities will be closed or have limited hours during upcoming Christmas and New Year holidays. City Hall will be closed Friday, December 23rd, Monday, December 26th, and Monday, January 2nd. The Sports Center will operate unlimited hours on Christmas Eve from 7:30 a.m. till noon, then closed Christmas Day. And then on December 31st, regular hours, but then closed on New Year's Day. Trash service, for those whose normal trash pickup is the 12/23 or Friday, the 23rd of December, it will be picked up on Tuesday, December 27th. And if your trash is picked up on Monday, December 26th, it will be rescheduled to be picked up on the 28th, which is Wednesday. And of course, the Cultural Center will be closed between December 23rd and the 30th and will reopen on January 3rd. Last, just wanted to mention this, that council will meet on Friday, January 6th at 9:30 a.m. in the upstairs conference room to discuss goals for the upcoming fiscal year 23-24 budget. The conversation will be facilitated by Jeff Shacker of the Municipal Association of South Carolina. Council's goal setting session is one of the first key steps in preparing the city's budget. Council's 2022 goals focused on healthy living, safety and well-being, economic prosperity and development, strategic reinvestment, and infrastructure improvements. And that's what I have, sir. Thanks, sir.
Next, the report from standing committees, finance and policy, Mr. Bowles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a couple items from the committee tonight, nothing major. Only picnic we had in the last month was open enrollment for insurance, which went swimmingly according to Mr. Button. So that's all the major announcements we have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Public safety, Ms. King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to, applaud the police department. Just recently, they had a drive-by parade for our youngest sworn-in officer, Little Bennett. I think a lot of law enforcement, agencies from around the county, participated in that. So I know that was very well received, and Chief McComb was in on it, as well as the fire department. So you had a toy drive that you just wrapped up.
Within the parade also.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to slide in there. Thanks to both of y'all, especially for that parade and work drive. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. King. Public Works, Mr. Traylor.
I just want to thank Public Works, doing a good job with the leaves. They had some trouble with equipment being down for a couple of days. And so they're making it up, and also people didn't know that it's not volunteer, but voluntary overtime, where they were even picking up on Sundays, trying to get they're all caught up. My understanding, probably collection was supposed to be. I just got Forest Woods, which is close a lot of leaves. Thank you.
Thank you, Traylor. Economic plan and development, Mr. Madden.
We're good, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Building codes, Ms. Cooper.
I have nothing to report. Thank you.
And Recreation, Mr. Aldridge.
We had our big news already earlier this evening with Willie Stewart's recognition, and while he's gone now, I should have said something earlier. I do appreciate everything that he's done. I remember when my kids were playing t-ball and baseball, and I was a coach, and he was helping coordinate everything. He always did a fantastic job, so I appreciate everything that he's done for the department. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Aldridge. Now we move to unfinished business, ordinance second reading, Ms. Miller.
We have 2 ordinances for second reading tonight. The first one is an amendment to the Mauldin zoning ordinance establishing definitions, standards, and prohibitions for drive-through facilities.
We'll come out of Building Development Services, Ms. Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve this drive-through standards ordinance on second reading.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Matney. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve on second reading the drive-through standards ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous. Next item, Ms. Miller.
Next item is an amendment to section 312.3.8, cessation of the sale and rental of moving trucks, trailers, intermodal containers, and temporary portable storage units of the Mauldin zoning ordinance to remove the cessation period for such previously allowed within the C2 district. And number 2, to add regulations for said non-conforming use in the C2 district.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. This item is coming before us as committee of the whole. I would request a motion to consider it informal.
So move.
Motion, Mr. Matt, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. King. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of considering the next item as committee of the whole, be of the informal method, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, we will consider next item as Ms. Miller is read to us. Be of the informal method. So coming from Build Development Service, Ms. Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I would like to make a motion to approve the non-conforming truck and trailer rentals ordinance on second reading.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Matt. Any discussion?
No, unless council has any questions.
Council Shu, if you have any questions, you were submitted a copy, I believe. Brad. Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not necessarily a question, just a comment to the committee as well as legal. As this issue come up, I appreciate going back and looking at ways to balance the business benefits as well as the city's interest on the firm. So I appreciate the committee readdressing this and looking at ways to help both the business interest as well as the city. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve on second reading the ordinance for non-conforming truck and trailer rental ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries on second reading. Thank you. Next item, new business ordinances for first reading. We have none. Standing committee items, Ms. Miller.
Council direction is requested on whether or not to continue to allow free or reduced memberships at the sports center.
From Recreation, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. During our recreation committee meeting, we discussed making changes to what we have. And after that, I spoke with Mr. Duncan about this particular program that we offer free or reduced memberships to various groups. I believe ultimately we're going to want to send this thing back down to committee, but I would like to be able to hold a discussion on the matter with full council.
Do we need a motion first?
You need a motion for nowhere to.
If you want to put a motion to hold on the floor, we need a second, then we go to the discussion.
Okay, I would push the hold on the floor and open up the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Alford. There's a motion to hold on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Reynolds. Now we're open for discussion.
Thank you. For what you can see here is we've offered elected officials, active military, active employees, and others with either a free or reduced membership. It came to light, and Mr. Duncan, if you would like to share any insight that we may have been doing it wrong.
Well, not necessarily wrong, just during the committee meeting, Councilmember Reynolds had asked the question to have the policy run through legal, and one of the aspects of it that needed further scrutiny was the free membership for elected officials. Because of South Carolina Code 57170 stipulating that compensation for council members have to be passed by ordinance, the question was presented to Mr. Hughes with regards to is that that bullet point for example, all elected city officials at current time, is that sufficiently capable of being included in the policy, or should it be passed by other means? And then Mr. Hughes weighed in on that. Did you want to give your comments there, or you want me to just?
Sure.
Okay.
Briefly, it's a closed case. I think the safer route for council is to adopt this particular benefit. They want to move forward with that as part of their compensation ordinance, which would need to be an ordinance on 2 readings. We would just simply revise our compensation ordinance to include that benefit for council. That's the safer course of action, in my recommendation.
Yep. And just to kind of reiterate, the rest of the, there was no legal scrutiny or issues with the rest of the policy, but that one element did need an explanation. And if council wanted to move forward with the rest of it, it could do so. It just should probably avoid using that one for this one and go the ordinance route for included in the compensation.
And just kind of looking at some of the additional implications, if that were to be added to the compensation ordinance, would that become, as compensation, a taxable benefit?
And that's a tax issue. I'm not going, that's a question for the CPA, the auditor for the city. I'm not sure about that.
So it's something to.
We can look. We can look into that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like there may be, the law of unintended consequences might be part of this discussion.
So my recommendation is to send it back down to council before I make that, back to committee, but before I make that recommendation, is there anyone who has any thoughts on what has been presented?
I do. That means spent about as much time as park and recreation, probably not quite as long as I wasn't coming off the park as early as park. But having worked there for 5 years, also with Sports Center, I know going through some of this, what we had to put up with, trying to come up with different things and rules and regulations, things like that. Most of you know that I'm a veteran, so that's near and dear to my heart. But the active duty military service members, 2 things I think we need to consider there. One, if they're a city resident and with proper supporting documentation. In today's world where you can deploy from Army Reserve National Guard, they could deploy for 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, a year. When they come back, it's difficult to follow up on because we don't know when they come back. Other we know when the deployment ends. With supporting documentation, you can put a termination date for the membership in the computer, so it tells you this 9 months a year based on the deployment paperwork. You can figure out real quick when. That would also apply if you had veterans and their dependents applying there or allowing them to have membership while their service member was deployed. You could also put in there the termination date. So that was one area I remember always being extremely difficult to administer because of the lack of understanding of what is proper paperwork. Trust me, the military has very, very proper paperwork. Probably second only to go. Paperwork. They had it. The other thing that I would look at, lifetime membership. I think lifetime is a long time. Thank you for your service. You leave the city. You go on from that kind of thing. Then you become citizen, John Q. Public. And if you go to the Sports Center, you're to pay for your membership. So I don't support lifetime memberships of any type for that kind of stuff. That's kind of my thought, just to go to consider. Just a reminder, we have the motion was to hold on this floor. That means it can also go back to committee. So it would have to come back up to this floor next month, January, or further action. That's just a clarification. Anyone else? Right.
I was just gonna ask, if the appropriate motion would actually be to recommit it to recreation and have Mr. Allgood, rescind his motion to hold on the floor, so we just go ahead and send it back, to committee and thoroughly discuss it.
We could do that if Mr. Reynolds has no objection to withdrawing his second.
No objection.
Mr. Allgood, would you want to consider withdrawing your motion and creating you?
I am for rescinding, and I would make a motion to send this back down to the recreation committee.
Motion to return to recreation. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
And a second from Mr. Reynolds. Now we're back to discussion of the motion to return to the recreation committee. Any further input, clarifications, comments you can provide Mr. Allgood in the recreation committee would be very helpful. Good. All right, all those in favor of the motion to return to the recreation committee for further vetting, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion to return to the committee carries. Next item is, no.
Council is requested to accept a bid for installation of fencing at Sunset Park.
All right, coming out of recreation, Mr. Alden.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion at this time that council department to go with the Seeker Fencing Company for the Sunset Park fencing for a fence to go around the park, not to exceed $34,820.
Okay, motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Reynolds. Any discussion? Matt?
I'm just curious if that, price may want to be revised a little bit to give some contingency wiggle room.
It's a recommendation of 35. I would alter it to 35.
So I have a motion to amend the motion to insert the not to exceed 35,000. Yes, sir. Is there a second to the amendment?
Second.
Second, Mr. Matney. Any discussion? Mr. Rush.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for clarification, this will be for option 2 that was presented on Caesar Fence Company options. Longer.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other discussion? Voted on the amendment to insert the not to exceed at $35,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, hearing none, the amendment carries. Now we're back to the original motion as amended to approve Caesars for the sunset fencing with a not to exceed $35,000. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously as amended. Next item is Miller.
Council is requested to reappoint 3 members of the Election Commission.
Finance, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint for the election commission, Mr. Dennis Cannon, Mr. Everett Penfield, and Ms. Charlene Ward.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. King, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to reappoint the 3 members of the election commission, Mr. Dennis Cannon, Mr. Gene Benfield, and Ms. Charlene Ward, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Ms. Miller.
Council is requested to revise the purchasing policy to include a requirement to follow the procurement guidelines from agencies/entities in relation to the receipt of grants from any such organization.
Also coming from finance, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Layman's terms, this is a policy put in place to, in the event that a department head is applying for a grant of any sort, he would follow the procurement policy that grant lays out. So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we amend the purchasing policy to adopt the language outlined in this memo that Ms. Miller just stated.
Sir, is there a second?
Second.
For, Mr. Allgood? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to amend the purchase policy to adopt the language outlined by Ms. Miller earlier and printed in the request section, if you will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Ms. Miller.
Council is requested to consider action on the maintenance agreement for the Maverick Station common areas.
This is coming from Public Works, Mr. President.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the maintenance agreement with East Butler LLC, Investments LLC, as written here.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
There, Mr. Ogden. Sir, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the maintenance agreement for the Maverick Station common area with East Butler Investments LLC, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. After you, Ms. Miller.
Council is requested to approve the municipal state highway project agreement for the Butler Road P 030553 repaving project.
Also coming from Public Works, Mr. Trailer.
So this time I'd like to make a motion to approve and authorize municipal state highway agreement for Butler Road project P 030553 repaving project.
Thank you, Mr. Trailer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. King. Any discussion? We had the documents in volume. So there's a big print picture upstairs to look at. I almost said Mr. Goodman. I'm so sorry. Yeah. To compare the fine print and the big print, so, no discussions? Mr. Bagley.
I honestly hadn't planned on saying anything there, but I kind of feel like I have to. You know, we've gone back and forth with this particular project in some way, shape, or form since 2017, really even earlier. We've had a lot of promises over the years, and a lot of those promises have not been made. We saw what DOT intended to do, and we tried to do right by our residents in protecting people, property. But again, DOT ultimately does what it wants to do. There's a lot of benefit here in helping ease traffic congestion, because traffic is only going to continue to increase through the city. And this is far from perfect. As a matter of fact, I don't particularly care for the plan. But it's, as I bite my tongue and hold my nose, it's still better than what we're dealing with. And we need to be prepared. We need to have infrastructure that is able to handle the traffic. And so I am very reluctantly going to support this.
Thank you, Mr. Bagley. Anyone else? Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I literally cannot say anything there, Mr. Matthew, so I'll just second what he said.
Thank you, sir.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Craig. Craig had a ditto, Mr. Bagley.
Are you dittoing me or him?
Either one.
Those of you that have been with me throughout my career as we've been faced with South Carolina DOT, the project through the GPAC committee, which once I became mayor, I got to sit on the GPAC committee. It's a 31-member committee to allocate roughly $67 to $80 million throughout various counties in the upstate for various improvements in infrastructure. It's difficult at best. Our city planner also sits on the, or I'm on the policy board, you're on the planning.
Study team.
Study team. It is an interesting endeavor to be heard from 31 members there. I was very energetic, involved in the meetings with DOT on our building a better Butler. That was their title. And we went to the meetings, we heard the citizens, we listened to them, we exchanged back and forth. Not only us, but also with DOT. We had several presentations here with DOT. I would like to be one that would say DOT's doing a good job, or they're doing a bad job. I can't say either one. They're doing the best job they can. With the money that was allocated, it is federal dollars, and with federal dollars comes requirements. And you wouldn't believe the requirements. So I'm gonna have to ditto and a ditto to Mr. Matney. It's not perfect. It's not what a lot of us want. It is a design that the engineers promise that it improves traffic flow. We don't have a volume problem. I'm quoting them. I don't think it doesn't matter. It is a flow problem. Meaning, if you're going to make a right turn off East Butler, you need to be able to move over and get out of the lane of traffic that needs to go straight through. Yes, I grew up here. Yes, I remember the 60s. Yes, I know the reputation we had and lived through it. But the flow problem is what we've got to work on. They say this project will do that. I also know that if we continue to push back with the project, this was put on the books in 2010 or 2012 to be done in 2017, 2019, 2021, now 2024. If you ride down there, and it's a state-owned road, the potholes on East Butler are a responsibility of South Carolina DOT. The city of Mauldin steps up with equipment that Mr. Weaver has to fix those potholes because it's our citizens that are having to encounter them. So we've got to have it. And so I also, what's the big word, begrudgingly, will have to support this to move it forward. It's not perfect. We're not perfect. They're not perfect. But we've got to move forward to handle what's coming in our city. We all know we're growing. And each one up here does the best they can with what's before us. But we can't stop people coming here. I don't know that we want to, but we can't. So we've got to get a better Butler, a better East Butler. So building a better Butler on this thing, I also begrudgingly move with my vote, try to move it forward. So that's enough for me. Anyone else? Motion to approve and authorize the municipal state highway project agreement for the East Butler P030553 repaving project. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you.
Council is requested to appropriate $25,000 from the FY 22 general fund surplus for the application / obtainment of an earth disturbance permit from Greenville County.
I believe this would be economic community development, Mr. Matney.
Thank you, Mayor. Move that we authorize the expenditure of $25,000 to obtain the required permit from Greenville County to complete the Mauldin Trail, with the expenditure being paid from funds transferred to capital projects from the FY 22 general fund surplus.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Craven. Any discussion? Mr. Rowley.
Is there a need to say not to exceed?
Mr. Charles?
It was quoted at 25,000.
That, the agreement is 25,000. And I think, the motion should include authorization for the mayor to execute the modified development agreement.
Oh, you didn't hear me? You didn't hear me say that part?
Back over a minute.
Yes. Move to amend the motion, to authorize the mayor to execute the agreement.
Second.
Mr. Manning, Mr. Craven. Any discussion on the amendment to authorize the mayor to execute the, what do you call it, the amendment,
Amended modification to the development agreement.
what he said?
No, this isn't a development
That's
agreement,
the
this is the trailer.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you're ready to have one.
Yeah, okay. So we don't need.
I'll draw the motion. Mr. Matt.
We're good. You're okay with that? Strike the amendment. We don't need it. And we're discussing the motion to authorize a one-time $25,000 expenditure to be paid out of the FY 22 general fund surplus. To authorize the Greenville County Soil Disturbance Agreement.
Permit.
Permit. Any discussion? Here none, all those in favor of what I just said, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Here none, the motion carries. Ms. Miller, you can figure that one out.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Back to you, Ms. Miller.
Council is requested to authorize the mayor to execute and the staff to facilitate a modification to the development agreement with Hughes Investment, indicating the city's commitment to pay for improvements related to the Mauldin pedestrian trail.
From economic development, Mr. Matt.
See, Mr. Hughes, that's what I was getting ready to read, but you ready? Yes.
Step ahead of it, as always.
As always.
How long you got?
Move for the authorization, for the mayor to execute staff facilitate modification to development agreement with Center Point Land LLC.
Second.
Yeah, second, Mr. Craig. Is there any discussion? Here's none, all those in favor of the motion to authorize the mayor to execute to facilitate a modification of the development agreement with the Hughes Investment, indicating okay, we don't need that part, on the Mauldin pedestrian trail. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Miller.
Council is requested to consider changing the police department rank structure.
This should be, Ms. King.
Thank you. It's relatively easy. I will make the motion to change the police department rank structure, which will add a level for a captain position.
Yeah, the motion, Mr. King, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Craven. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion of changing the police department rank structure, in essence, adding the captain's position, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. The next item, I'll get committee of the whole first. And you can
Okay.
do that. That works.
Mayor, who we consider the next item at formal?
We have a motion to consider the next item, the informal method from Mr. Matney. Is there a second? Second, Ms. King, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, to consider the next item will be the informal, let's say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none. Motion carries now to you, Mr. Mayor.
Council is requested to approve a purchase and sale agreement for 13 Jenkins Court and authorize the mayor to execute the same.
This is also economic development, Mr. Matney.
Mayor, move that we approve the sale, the PSA for 13 Jenkins Court and authorize the mayor to execute the PSA.
And the motion is there a second?
Second.
We have a second, Ms. King, any discussion? Hearing, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just pointing out that this will be an expenditure source from the property management fund as well as the surplus general fund from 2022.
So moved. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the PSA for 13 Jenkins Court, authorize the mayor to execute the PSA, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Now we're back to public comment for the anything for the good of the city of Mauldin, that this council would hope to hear from our citizens. No one signed up for that part of it. Is anyone online?
No, sir.
No one online for that part of it. Next item is council concerns. Mr. Madden.
Thank you, Mayor. Didn't even get my hand raised.
I know the routine.
I wanted to, take a quick minute, obviously, to wish everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But Mayor, I also want to thank you, and I want to thank Janice Holcomb for bringing the Wreaths Across America program to the city of Mauldin. It has, it's been around for a while, but we were able to observe it this Saturday for the first time. And there was a great amount of participation from civic groups and residents. And it meant a lot, and I am proud to live in a city that continues honoring all those who served and have kept our nation free and continue to keep our nation free. So I just wanted to say thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, Mr. Madden. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and also make the comment that we held an attentive crowd tonight and thank everybody for staying till the end. Thank you all and wishing everyone a Merry Christmas.
Anyone else? I will also say the Wreaths Across America was an important service for me to be involved in several years ago. And it's always been a goal to bring it to the inner usage of the city of Mauldin. And it was a learning experience for us. Our ceremony was kind of unique in the fact we had it at our Veterans Memorial. Traditionally, you would have this service at the cemeteries. We're blessed in our city to have large churches been here a long time and they have their cemeteries. So our program was short, and then we moved over to the cemeteries and had family members as well as a lot of volunteers to place the wreaths on those grave sites that had been identified as veterans. We probably missed some, and we probably missed some churches that have that, and we probably might even miss some family members. It's a learning experience. Janice and Miss Becky Baum and myself spent as much time as we could finding out. We're blessed today to have great records, electronic records. Back in the day, that wasn't always true. So when you see a stone and you don't know who's there, you just have to knock on neighbors' doors and chase down history, and you're blessed to have families that have been around this city many, many years that can recall family members and relatives and go all the way back to the Butler Crossroads, Butler Crossing, as we come forward that thing. So McDaniel Cemetery in Knollwood, I did right after we did our services, and I had identified 3 graves there. There's probably more in there because a lot of them were just rocks. But the Sons of the American Revolution, the Dogs of the Revolution were helping me identify best they can do. So we did those 3 graves there, and others, like I said, we've missed some, but I would hope the churches will pick up on this, or the owners of the cemeteries, and carry this program forward. I thank you for the economic, community development team that, bought into this program. And then JR took it on, because, the members of the staff that had started it with me, are no longer with us. And when he explained to JR, he wanted to go ahead and do it. So we appreciate that, along with our cultural council that supports our cultural center, for the funds to, put into it. And then for our council, our county council band trip, we'll also earmark some funds to pay for these wreaths. This year, the families didn't have to pay for them, and the churches didn't. These 2 funds did, and so, we're very appreciative of that. So it means a lot to me, for obvious reasons. My family is Mr. Matthew's family, and also others, so we appreciate that. With that, I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you. Have a safe holiday. Somebody I will see you again tomorrow. And the rest of you, if I don't see you, be safe out there and have fun. Thank you. Anything else? I'll ask council for your pleasure on adjournment.
So moved.
Mr. Reynolds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Take them together.